thought it would.
Did you make that call or did Tommy?
Yeah, I make every call.
Shedeur had the hot hand. Why would you take him off?
Yeah, it's a 2-point play. Didn't come through on our first 2-point play. Got to the second 2-point play. We didn't come through, but that's on me.
Was that play call yours or Tommy's?
I'm responsible for all of it.
I mean, he only said it 3 times. Every play call is me. I make this choice. This is my fault. Well, now all of those choices have led to the Cleveland Browns currently holding the 4th overall pick in next year's draft. The Giants currently holding on to that number 1 spot. Tennessee gets a big win, so they're bumped out, and they are in 3rd. And then the Raiders there are going to pick at number 2. All right, guys, there's a lot to break down in this Browns-Titans game. Shout out to Tennessee for getting a win. But I want to talk about the Browns side of this. And, Jason, I'll come back to you here because we saw the play call. We obviously saw it wasn't successful. But then you hear Kevin Stefanski after the game. It was very clearly something he didn't want to talk about. He took immediate ownership of. But when you hear that kind of sound after that kind of play, where does your mind go?
I just think it's very interesting to me. I think the antics surrounding Shedeur really, since he first got in the Cleveland Browns building until now, have been just weird, to be honest. From GMs not wanting to say the name, people not wanting to take ownership for the pick, not wanting to name his as a starter. Like, there's been some level of weirdness, shadiness, pettiness, behind the scenes, whatever going on when it comes to Shedeur there in general. And I think, to me, that is a distraction that's created by the organization and actually not by the player. And the organization should never be creating distractions from that standpoint. And it seems like it's been a lot of that, and it's come from the brass and the front office of the organization. So I don't like that at all. When it comes to the 2-point conversion, I mean, I think that's just about reading the flow of the game. You know, this is a guy who took you all the way down, put you in position. He's the most important person on the field on your offense. And you don't have him in there, and I get it. You know, offensive coordinators, they package certain things. Sometimes you have 2-point plays that you just throw in your back pocket for a long time, may have a special personnel, whatever. But, like, was that the time to call that? And maybe something that you guys clearly don't practice enough, because your running back doesn't even know that he's supposed to pitch the ball to the guy coming around. So it's like, it just felt like they just pulled it out of their butt and just ran something just to ran it. And it was just, I don't agree with it.
Fran?
Yeah, I'll say this. And I agree with Jason to the point of he carried you all the way downfield. He got you all the way downfield. He threw the ball that you scored a touchdown on. If you wanted to take the ball out of his hands on the 2-point conversion play, even that's fine. But he should have been on the field. You have a defensive coordinator in Denard Wilson who studies film ad nauseum, and he understands. And one thing that Denard is really good at is game planning situationally. And so now you enter a gotta-have-it moment, 2-point conversion to tie the football game, and you take your quarterback out. I don't care if it's Dylan Gabriel. I don't care if they brought Joe Flacco back and had him back there. You take your quarterback, your one threat to throw the football, you take him off the field, and you put in your running back to potentially pitch to your receiver and have them throw the ball. Because if you look at the setup of the play, the running back should have pitched it, and then they had the route concept going back the other way, which they also had an offensive lineman in the route concept as well. So that in and of itself is an issue. But the lead-in terms of Kevin Stefanski and the way he addressed it, I thought, I give him credit. He took ownership. And I think he took ownership because I think he did not want to name names and throw others under the bus. He did not want to throw Quinshon Judkins under the bus and say, hey, the back should have pitched it, it should have been drawn up this way, or even have to answer for Tommy Rees's play call. He took play calling from himself and gave it to Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees has been calling plays these last few weeks of the season. And yes, Kevin Stefanski, as the head coach, former play caller, still has veto rights and say, hey, we're not doing that. And so from that standpoint, yes, he was in agreement with the play call. And so I respect the fact that he took ownership of it. But I think that was more so he wouldn't have to throw others under the bus and name what truly happened in that situation.
Just play football. Your quarterback got you down the field. He's played well during the game. You got to give him credit. Shedeur Sanders looked good today. Let him take that snap and play football. You don't have to play the gimmick stuff. But you mentioned something about Cleveland, all the stuff going on in Cleveland. Look, there's been stuff going on in Cleveland since Deshaun Watson was traded for. Bottom line is, there are people in that organization didn't want him there. Ever since that deal, it's spiraling out of control. And Kevin Stefanski was Coach of the Year twice. But don't you get the feeling watching Kevin Stefanski, he wouldn't mind or doesn't care if he gets fired from this job because Kevin Stefanski is going to get another job somewhere else. This organization is a mess, and they might need change. I mean, look, they might need new faces in the front of the building, but right now, the bottom line is this organization has been a mess, and I go back to that trade, which was forced on them by ownership of Deshaun Watson. Bottom line, they haven't been the same since.
And Deshaun Watson looking to come back, not going to come back and play this year, but of course the
if he ever plays for them, it'll be a miracle. With the way his contract is and everything else, it'll be a miracle.
Just had to mention it. Let's talk about the Dolphins quickly because we are tight on time. They have now won 4 straight, but Pete, even more impressive, 3 of those 4 wins have come against the division. I know it's the Jets. I know Tyrod Taylor got hurt pretty early in this one, but still it's 4 wins for Mike McDaniel's crew.
And it was in the cold. I mean, all we ever talk about
Buried
is
the lead.
Right. I mean, I'm the biggest critic of it. They don't win in the cold. Well, they went and won in the cold, and you got to give credit. Mike McDaniel's saving his job. I really believe that. And again, I've been one of those biggest critics of Mike McDaniel. But I think what he's done, he's saving his job for the next general manager to make a decision on him. And it's probably going to be a 1-year situation. He comes back. If he doesn't have a winning season next year, then he's probably out. I think he's done enough this year. They didn't want to fire him to begin with because the owner likes him, and I think he's done enough to keep his job.
What have you liked about the Dolphins?
P, I want whatever you're drinking, sipping, whatever. If you legitimately believe that McDaniels has saved his job.
Oh, he saved his job.
If not for the product on the field, but for the actual culture of the team that you've seen this year and the things that we've seen out in the media of players missing meetings, not going to player-only meetings, being late, this, that, and the third, being called out by their own quarterback who is supposed to be the leader, who shouldn't be going in the media. It's way too much of a circus. His job. Not only that, the accountability clearly isn't there. They clearly don't respect him. And I'm talking about as a man. We're talking about the NFL. Like, these are grown men. These are grown men. You got to be able to look guys in the face, in the eyes, and really believe with conviction what you're saying. I don't think that exists in that locker room right now, and those were my initial concerns the second he took this head coaching job. I thought he should have stayed in OC, stayed in his lane. I don't think he's a leader on that level of men in the NFL, and the type of men that you have to lead.
Whether I believe it or not is, you heard me, I don't believe. I make jokes all the time about how loose the ship is and everything, but I think the owner wants to keep him, and I think this little winning streak is going to keep him around.
I mean, it's hard, and especially because we keep talking about the rest of the schedule and what the rest of the schedule looks like. And I feel like with the Dolphins, I mean, they go to Monday Night Football. They're going to take on the Steelers. They've got the beat-up Bucks, who we just talked about as well. They've got the Patriots that end the season, but ran to your point, like by that point, the Patriots might have everything packed up. So I think there's a world, and I think that they do rally around him as a coach personally. We'll have to wait and see in terms of who sticks around there. What do we think of Devon Achane before we go? I know we're kind of tight on time here, but Rand, my running back on set, I'll come to you. He got hurt. Mike said he could come back, but he's been pretty impressive this year.
Oh, yeah, he's had a great year. And this is the perfect system for him. The outside zone play. Mike's going to be able to scheme these situations where all he has to do is be decisive, put his foot in the ground, and then use that elite speed to accelerate through those gaps. And he's done a great job of that, and he's been the explosiveness that this offense has needed. And then today, he went down, but he still had 7 carries for 92 yards at the point he went down. And then Jalen Wright came in, ran for 107 yards and a touchdown. They had over 200 yards rushing as a team. This is the identity of this football team. You have to run the football and protect Tua. And when I say protect Tua, not necessarily from the standpoint of keeping him upright, but not put the ball in his hands to have to throw the ball consistently downfield.
All right, we will leave it there. I'm trying to text JJ, our insider, about coaching hot seats. He gave me a thumbs up to Stefanski being on the hot seat. No word on Dan Quinn.